Morning. Man, that sunshine's bright. Oof. Hey guys. So today the video is going to be about cutting heights. We're going to talk about cutting heights, and especially in the springtime, but we're going to talk about the issue that we run into when we start to let our Bermuda get taller and we have a lot of those brown marks in our lawn. We're going to talk about that and why we want to try and keep it short in the spring. Now, it's real important to understand this is video 1 of a 3-part series. We're going to cut today. Then we're also going to be doing the cheap organic material and humichar treatment. And then we're going to spray super juice with a microbial pack, and we're going to break that down for you in 3 separate videos. So you need to hit the subscribe button or these won't make sense because they all kind of tie in together. Got that? So make sure you subscribe so that you can actually be aware of there's going to be information in one video that you're going to need from another one. It's real important to understand that the first thing, if I'm talking about something, in the description below there's a link that takes you to our website, and I generally put everything on one page and associate it with this video. So if you need the Bermuda Lawn Guide, which talks about how Bermuda grows and why we cut it short, it's there. Product links, PGF Complete, Super Juice, if I'm talking about it, it's all going to be down below. Even the reel mowers. There's a link to the reel mowers that we're using today. It's my favorite reel mower. So Jacob is coming over. Jacob's going to cut some of the lawns across the streets. Malin's coming over and she's going to cut here. She's got a friend, Kate, and I said, yeah, bring Kate along. So Kate's going to cut a little bit too. She's never done anything yard work wise, I don't think. But Malin's pretty experienced, so she's going to come cut over here. We got a ton of stuff to do between the yards, barbs, the 2 other lawns over here, the front entrance, the garden that's going on. We're busy. Even though we're on lockdown, we're busy. So today I just want to cover real quickly, I want you to understand, in the Bermuda Lawn Guide I talk about how Bermuda grows. Okay, so I'm going to use a simple tool to show you why this becomes a problem when your grass starts to get tall. So I'm going to show you Bermuda grass. So here we are, we're at the beginning of the season and your Bermuda grass is coming up. This is what your Bermuda grass looks like. So you got this nice short green Bermuda grass, and that's what we have here. This backyard is about 1/2 inch to 3/4. This is where we're going to keep it almost all year. So the grass is coming up slowly, and that's what we look like. Well, when you let it get up taller, it gets up taller and it stays green. But Bermuda grows funny. If you let it get too tall, once it gets above 1.5 inches, it starts to have a stalk on it. And what color is that stalk? That stalk is brown. So that's where you run into problems. When you let your Bermuda grass does not like to be tall. It's not meant to be grown tall. Bermuda grass likes to be short. That's, if you look at all the universities and extension offices, they're going to say between 1/2 inch and 1.5 inches is really where your Bermuda wants to be. But I see everyone's yard around the average neighborhood, and they're 2, 3, even 4 inches, and it's horrendous. Well, anytime your mower starts to do this, or anytime you have uneven ruts, what happens? Well, you're cutting this and cutting this, but when it starts to get tall, you're also cutting off all the green. And that's why you have those brown marks. So at the beginning of the year, this is why we scalp. And why do we scalp? Because it's opposite. In the beginning of the year, we have this. The whole yard is brown. And so what we want to do is we want to take all this brown off so that when the Bermuda starts to grow, it can be short and be green. Make sense? Does that kind of do it? Just saw this rake sitting over here, and I said, man, that'll explain it perfectly. So that's really how we sort of manage Bermuda grass and why we like to keep it short. Remember, Bermuda will thicken up. If this is March 24th or something, you should see this lawn back here. It's crazy. Now, we did the quick start program back here. We put down humichar and we put down a soil correction last month. I've hit this with PGF Complete, a heavy coat of PGF Complete, 1.5 times the bag rate. And then we've been doing some humichar and organic material. We do that today, a bunch of different stuff. But I'm going to take you across the street and I'll show you that, and then we'll do some cutting. And don't forget, we're going to be putting the cheap organic material. It's $13 for a 50-pound bag. The girls will be putting that out along with humichar on the lawns. Then I'll be spraying super juice with a micro pack on top of that. So a bunch of stuff. So hit subscribe. Here we go. A lot of people say, oh, I don't cut my grass short because it turns brown. There's a reason why. And if you go to the Bermuda Lawn Guide, you'll understand how Bermuda grows. The Bermuda Lawn Guide, you'll understand this point. as Bermuda grass gets long, once it gets long, 60% of the stalk is brown and just the upper portion is green. So then when you cut it low, what happens? You see brown. That's why we scalp. We get rid of all the brown. So whatever height you want to keep it at during the year, go down to half that height. So if you want to keep it at 1 inch, you scalp to ½ inch. Got it? But I want to show you something. So I had my crew come over. Now this is the area, this is the other lawn that we're working that I salvaged. Let me give you an example. Again, in the Bermuda Lawn Guide. Okay. See that? All weeds, no Bermuda. I don't have any Bermuda grass. How do I save it? This is a Bermuda lawn. This is a turf Bermuda lawn. When you don't give a shit. See the line? This is what I took over here, and it's all coming up with nice Bermuda, not a single weed in it. Go to the Bermuda Lawn Guide. But I want to show you this. This is important. So I came over here and I'm trying to figure out how low I want to take this. Now this was kind of scalped by my crew with the riding mowers. But you can see when I take it down, what am I still seeing? I'm still seeing brown. So that kind of tells me, I may want to take it down a little bit more even. So I'm going to have to come in probably and do if I want to keep it this height, I'm going to have to take it down even more. And that's the decision you have to make. If it gets out of hand, if you keep coming up and coming up and coming up on your Bermuda grass, and all of a sudden, you keep coming up to try and keep it green, just take it down. I don't care when it is. I've done that many times. 2 or 3 times I'll come out during the season and scalp my lawn because I've let it get long because of a drought or something. Just scalp it back down and it'll come back up. The whole point is, like my front, if I want to keep my front at 1 inch this year, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it at about 1 inch, 3/4 to 1 inch. That means I got to scalp it down to at least ½ an inch, get rid of all that brown. Otherwise, every time I cut it, I'm going to see brown. That's why we do that decision. So just so you know, what I did is I'm trying to get both of them. Malin actually knows how to run this stuff. Kate's never run it, so I had her actually follow her down, and now what she's going to do is she's actually going to make her do it all by herself, start it up and everything. Hey, I'll tell you what. Let me take this off. It's starting to get warm out here. So we wanted to cut barbs, and we wanted to cut this patch, this test patch over here, and we wanted to cut those with the reel mower at least once, just to get rid of some of that brown. And that's the point I'm really trying to get across to you guys today, is make sure that you get rid of as much brown as possible, so that if you want to stay at 1 inch, your brown has to be ½ inch. Don't worry, you can cut it and cut it and cut it. Keep cutting low. In June, you can scalp your lawn again if you're having this problem. All right, so people don't believe me. When you came off of Barb's lawn, what did you say to me?
I said, it really does hurt your thumb.
I'll tell you what, he got done with Barb's whole lawn reel mow, and he was like, dude, my thumb is killing me. And you cannot, now there's a feature where you can push it in and leave it in, but dude, you can't do that. You can't just lock it in and go. There's no way. You've got to be able to control the speed. And that's why I'm just telling you, this is a great machine, great heavy duty cutter, and we use it a lot out here for these big areas, but be prepared. I'm just warning you. That's why we like the McLeans. All right, so it's all done. Back's all done, and back's looking pretty good. We still have some weak areas. Remember, with Bermuda in the spring, any area that's not getting a lot of sunlight is going to be a lot slower. So like my grassy knoll back over there, it's really weak right now, but man, I've got some areas that are just like, man, they're absolutely gorgeous. Let me show you, let me just grab a spot here. Man, that's just absolutely gorgeous. But you'll notice this grass is about ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch, and there's no brown. There's no brown. Now, reel cutting, of course, is the best way to cut short Bermuda. But let me take you up front and show you the front yard, which is a little bit weaker. My backyard is stronger. But I also want to show you, we came out here, and because I typically cut barbs and these other ones with the John Deere, I wanted to get them real low, so that's why we reel cut those. But my front is not as green as my back right now. It's still waking up. Still got probably another week before we turn solid green. It's not looking bad, but I got it short. And Barb's lawn probably looks like a lot of your guys' lawns right now. It has a little bit of green coming out, but again, we took it down short yesterday with the reel mower. Jacob came out here and cut this all down with the reel mower. So again, this is that area that had a lot of brown showing. And this is actually common Bermuda. So that's common Bermuda, and it's not looking too shabby. But again, we had to get all that brown off there. So the lesson today is you can really start to get frustrated with your lawn because you've done all this work and you got it nice and green, and then you come out and you start cutting it and you get these scalp marks. And that happens, of course. The only time that can happen is when your Bermuda gets long. It will not happen on short Bermuda. That's why a lot of people switch over to reel mowers. You start to get that stalk. And when you get that stalk, that's when you're going to run into these issues. Now, the impulse, the reaction, the natural reaction to people is, well, keep raising up my mower, raising up my mower, raising up my mower. And you get into that, you get stuck in that situation where you've got to keep coming up and keep coming up and keep coming up. And what you need to do is make sure your deck is level. If you're using a rotary, make sure your deck is level. And I'm telling you, you're much better off. I'm going lower and lower and lower with all my yards, even though I have a real bumpy yard. I have a horribly bumpy yard, and all these yards in here are just horribly bumpy. They really can't be leveled. You can't bring in enough sand. I'm probably going to roll them with a real heavy roller. But just resist that temptation. Now don't forget, I'm getting ready to go in. We're going to be doing the organic and human char treatment. I'll show you that. That's the next video. That's the second video. And then I'll do a real short video talking about super juice with the micro pack inside of it. And I might even blend those two videos because they're not that long. But that's real important. What we're going to do this year in our programs, we're going to be putting lots of cheap organic material on our lawns. So Linda's sitting by the pool, by the way. You don't believe me? Let me show you. What are you doing? Are you lying out by the pool? Are you enjoying your pool? Isn't that nice? Get some sunshine, take a nap by the pool. They're just crazy. Anyways, guys, be safe, take care of your family, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you a little later. Bye.